The signing into law 8 bills that William Samoei Ruto did just a few hours before he could announce the demise of the former Prime Minister and ODM leader Raila Odinga has created outrage not only to the citizens but also various leaders. Like now, Kalonzo Musyoka tells William Samoei Ruto that Wantam is a reality that he shall not evade.
Therefore, Mr. Ruto, prepare to pack. Prepare to pack. And don't make it worse. Because in a democracy, you lose under one term, you go home, but not make it complicated for yourself.
Now, together in this, remember I told you I'll be going one by one into these acts, and so far I talked about two. One was the privatization bill and also the Cybercrimes Act. Remember I told you that the Cybercrimes Act was being used to hide the others, the smoke in the room, the bull in the room. Now, one was the privatization bill, whereby now the government, if they want to sell the shares in companies that are state-owned, they don't need the approval of parliament, but rather it is the treasury that decides it is time to sell these, and we do it. That notwithstanding still, there is also this thing that we were saying is a rumor, but now it has come to pass. The issue of the Land Act. Remember, it's not a bill. Land Act of 2024. Remember when you were talking about the freehold and leasehold. Now, freehold land is that you own the land for eternity as long as it is yours. But leasehold, it means you'll be holding the land for 99 years, then it goes back to the government. But as you leasehold it, it means you will be paying rates, which is equivalent of paying rent for the land that you own. How does that sound for you as a struggling Kenyan? That is where William Samoei Ruto is taking us. Now, listening to the speech that he gave during the burial of the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga and seeing what he did, these are two personas. Remember, he was promising that Raila was the father of democracy. He fought for democracy and the freedom that we are now enjoying, according to them. And he shall not allow Kenya to go back into the era of dictatorship. Now, him speaking after enacting the bills into law was so hypocritical that even the people of Nyanza who have begun rallying support behind William Samoei Ruto are so myopic to see, because to them they don't want politics of issues, they want politics of fanaticism. How can somebody being a good orator make you so blind to see that he's swaying you with the sweet speech for you to forget the atrocities that he is committing against the state? I'm not the only one who is saying this. Also, Judge Emeritus David Maraga has something to say about this.
The country's mourning. The bills include the Computer Misuse and the Cybercrimes Amendment Act, the Privatization Act, the Land Amendment Act, the National Land Commission Amendment Act, the Wildlife Conservation and Management Amendment Act, the National Police Service Amendment Act, the Air Passenger Service Charge Amendment Act, and the Virtual Assets Service Providers Act. We have carefully reviewed these bills approved by the National Assembly and signed into law by Ruto. Our questions beloved Kenyans, are these. When will the Kenyan state decide to work for its people? How dare the executive and the National Assembly boldly betray the nation and our sovereign will? Today, we will focus on two of these acts and amendments touching on our freedoms and sovereignty. For what is a nation without its sovereign assets and its freedoms? First, the amendments to the Computer Misuse and Cybercrimes Act, in essence, seek to control and crush political dissent and protests in the guise of expanding protections from cybercriminals.
And more is yet to be uncovered. As you keep in touch with Dub Radio into this podcast, you'll realize that time and again I've been pointing out these atrocities. Now you can tell me that I took a lot of time to invest and buy this land, or even if I inherited it from my parents or grandparents, and now you want me to be paying for it. Now, what will happen by the time I'm developing that land? Either I'm renting it out, I construct houses for people to live in, or I do offices for people to rent. What will be the object end of it? High rental rates. Because I will not take the responsibility. It is my tenants who will take the responsibility. Yet we know how business currently is in Kenya. Is it that a route of making sure that forever we live in abject poverty? And through that, we always depend on government. Is this how, Mr. President William Samoei Ruto, you want to create a Singapore? Is this your vision of moving Kenya from a third world to a first-class country? That will just be but a dream and fallacy. What's your take in this? Give me your thought in the comment section below. If you love content of this nature and you're watching from my YouTube channel, kindly subscribe and press the notification button so anytime that we are live or we upload content of this nature, you'll be the very first person to be notified. Ahmed Khalif is my name for the Unscripted Talks here in Dub Radio. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Kwa timba kali za Afrika, Dub Radio ndio mpango mzima.